I'm Linda Deer. Welcome to Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, a weekly gift of guidance on navigating the uncertain world that you are now living in. Published every Tuesday since 2014. In this episode, the guides will be talking about better decisions happen when you become clearer. If making a decision is causing you anxiety, you must stop before you make that decision. To make the best decision, you must be clear. You become clear once you take the time to write down what you need to decide. That's why I wrote these journals. My guided journey is what you need to be using to perform on this. Then let it sit for a few hours or even sleep on it. Go back to what you wrote down and you will see it from a clearer perspective. Now, why do you think that is? Anytime that you let something sit, you take the moment, you take the time to write it down first. You have to write it down because you can't see it when you're in it. When you need to make a decision, you can't see what is to your highest and best good. Many times you're willing to compromise or lean in to favor the other person or the situation rather than do what's right for yourself. That's why you need to let it sit. That's why you need to write it down. You're going to become conscious. You're going to become the best decision maker that you know. Now, write down the options you can see. Let that sit for a day or so as more ideas pop into your head. By the way, this is guidance coming through from your guides. Running decisions through this process is an invitation to receive guidance about anything you need to make a decision about. Make this a habit and your life will work out much better than forcing any decision that you need to make. If anyone forces you to make a decision, they're putting pressure on you. They demand that you make a decision. Right now, that's when you need to really be cautious. You need to pull back. Don't let anybody put you in a corner like that. Don't put yourself in a corner like that. Okay, let's use some current day situations about decisions. What do you think about people's decisions in the world today? What do you think about the decisions your government makes? About your highest and best good? About your well-being? Do you agree with it? Do you let them push you around and force you to make decisions that just don't feel right? You guys, you have to stop doing this. You have to stop letting somebody or something pressure you to make decisions when you're not ready to make them. And I'm not talking about procrastinating. I'm not talking about not making a decision at all. Because if you do that, the decision will be made for you. You don't want that. Okay. So what you need to do, you need to just do this one thing. I tell everybody that I work with in my coaching and in my training to get my journal, My Guided Journey. It's the companion journal to my flagship book, My True Life Story, my autobiography about how I learned this from the time I was a little kid at the beginning of my life, when the decisions that were being made for me were to my detriment. I had to think things through and I had no one to talk to. But I did. I had my guides. I had my guides by my side to consult with every day of that miserable childhood to make sense, the truth about what was going on. So I could join in with this higher learning that my guides were always sending me. Okay? I was nobody's victim, although they thought I was. Okay? I let them think what they wanted to think. That's what you have to do. You have to not worry about what people think about you. That's what you need to learn to do. And you're going to learn to do that by writing in your journal for just 15 minutes a day about a decision that you are needing to make, about a decision that feels like it's being forced on you, about a decision that you really want to make. You really would like to know the answer to that. You'd like to know how to move forward, but you need to make that decision. Maybe you don't need to make the decision in the outer world. Maybe it's a decision you need to come to on your own within yourself. It's something that you need to add to putting all the pieces like a puzzle together to figure out the ultimate decision that you're going to make. That's made from clarity, not from panic and fear. You have to quit. You have to quit letting people push you in that corner and force you under duress to make decisions. Stop doing that. This is how you're going to do that. Start writing in your journal for 15 minutes a day about decisions you need to make. And let your guides come through. You're driving somewhere, you wrote that down, it's in your head. You purged it onto the pages. Now your guides are working with you on it in the background. They're right there helping you with it. You're going to get that idea. You're going to get that one-liner that pops into your head. You're going to have that inspiration. You're going to just know something. All because you took the first step. And that was to write it down in your journal. Your life will change for the better. Finally, you will become clearer. You will be someone you can trust every time you need to make a decision, whether it's kind of a lighthearted decision or a part of a puzzle decision with other decisions that are going to come about that you're going to write down, where you put all the pieces together as you receive the guidance and write down the guidance you got about that decision. Pretty soon your life is going to work like it's never worked before. This is all you've been missing. So under the conditions in the world that we're living in now, it's never been more critical to do this. So the decisions that you make for yourself and for your children and for the people who depend on you, that it's the best decision. It may not always be a decision that you wanted. It may be something where it's different than you expected. That's all I can say. Because when guidance comes through, they don't worry about if you can handle the truth or not. Of course you can, but you have to write it down. Write down the decision you need to make. Write down the guidance that you get. It's called ideas that pop into your head. It's called inspirations that you have. It's called a dream you had. Write it all down. And then when you see it on the pages, only then will you have the sound mind, the clarity, the objectiveness, the biases are out of the way to see the truth about the decision that's the best decision for you. Okay. I'm going to close this session about better decisions happen when you become clearer. But before I do that, I'd like to just let you know that I appreciate all the comments that you guys leave on these posts, on these insights. And I really appreciate it when you tell your like-minded friends about my work. Okay. So I'm going to bring the guides through. Closing message. And here they go. We need you to Listen. P. Pay attention to your thoughts. Write them down. Always. Ask. Us to help you. We feel left out when you don't. We do not enjoy watching you suffer. Be aware, like you were a child. Make a priority out of your writing, your journal writing. L. E.T. Let your mind wander. That will let us in. We have been waiting for you to be ready. You need not struggle with any decision. No more getting pushed around and intimidated into making hasty, unfavorable decisions. So, use your best resource, your guides. Take that time to write it down and let them come through to help you. It will feel like it came from you. It really will, but it didn't. So write it all down so you can become conscious between what came from you and what came through you from your guides. This is how you master receiving guidance and knowing that it's the real thing. Okay. You have help. You are never alone and always being guided.